Pickle Peeps, Melissa from, not Metals and Pieces, but from The Handmade How here, and today we're going to do a fun video that has been much requested. Today we are going to go over how to do great thumbnails for your YouTube videos. Now, I don't care if you're on YouTube or not, this technique is going to get you better photos, period. Now, I'm not talking about better photos in the picture taking side. I'm talking about in the processing and editing side. And some of the stuff that I'm going to show you and talk to you about here, especially pertaining to YouTube, I imagine will become more and more popular across like your website images, and anything that has to go through Google is going to be supported really with this video. So that said, let's get started. All right. So, I forgot, I don't have an intro to this channel yet. Melissa, next video, make an intro. Alright, so for this one, like I said, this has been much requested on how to do YouTube thumbnails, and I will straight up say, like, I'm part of a lot of mastermind groups on Facebook about YouTube thumbnails. I've taken different courses, and really, when you are starting a YouTube channel, the number one thing to do is your thumbnail. The number two thing to do is your video title, and whether you're following principles for SEO or principles for the, like for the person versus the robot or any of that stuff, that's up to you. I don't really care which principle you go off of with that, but everything really starts in my mind with the image. When you get onto the YouTube homepage and you're scrolling through, you're not reading titles in the little title bar, you're scanning images, all right? So the number one thing to getting views and increasing views on YouTube is your image. And then of course, I mean, like, you gotta have good search terms in there or whatnot so your video comes up in the list, and then you have to have an appealing image or thumbnail so that they click on your video instead of everybody else's video, and then after that you actually have to have a decent quality video. Hopefully we're doing good videos for you, so you guys let me know, Pickle Peeps, if you think these videos are good or not, but there you have it. So the number one thing is the thumbnail, and since, like I said, this is requested, and I'm going to be doing one right now, so we'll get started with that. So I'll start it off with like the technique that I use when I'm doing my YouTube videos. So every time I record a video, at the end of the video, after I have hit stop on the camera, I do a series of silly selfies. So I will do the literally pantomime. So think, this will tell true besties, or true pickles. Think that scene in Singing in the Rain, I always think of it at least, near the beginning where, I forget all the characters' name now, but he drops into Zelda's car and they're talking about acting and whatnot, and she's like, oh, you're a screen. Don Lockwood. Oh, like you do all that. And she's doing all the pantomime stuff. That is literally what I do. And I have a vocal trigger. Well, first off, I use my phone for everything. I record my video on my phone. I do my selfies on my phone. The only thing I don't do on my phone is edit. I take it to the computer for that. But I have vocal triggers. So when I have it set up so when I say smile, it didn't do it because I'm shooting video right now. But I'll get a little like screen and then it'll take the picture. So that's really, really helpful. I definitely recommend going into your camera settings and seeing if you have vocal triggers. So that's really cool. But that's what I'll do first off, is to get the selfies, because I can pull them out of the video, but they're gonna be lower quality as far as lighting, as crispness, as like color saturation, and you can only do so much of that in post. So I try to start with the highest quality image that I can. Now, the big things with YouTube ones especially is eyes and emotion. So you scan through and look at it with these new eyes and whatnot. But you want, or pay attention, people have exaggerated expressions, which is why I talk about like the old school film, silent movie pantomime stuff. You have to be exaggerated. That would have been a good one. Maybe I'll pull that one from the video, even though I say I don't technically do that. I don't. Maybe I'll take one like that afterwards. But you want big eyes, like almost think anime eyes. You want them to be like popping out of your head. And you want big like movement or expression, something extreme. Because if you just do the pretty little... You can do that, but it's not going to be clicked on as quickly as they'll be like, wow. Any of those kinds. So that's enough. I think we just did like 2 minutes of pantomime there. But anyway, so that is the first thing that I do. And then I pull everything into the computer, and that's what we are going to jump to next. So, ready for the computer? I'm going to figure out how to do a Batman swirly thing. I will figure it out. It can't be that hard. Once we have a stable logo, that'll be the new transition. Okay, yeah. Anyway, here we go. So now we are in Canva, and for Canva, you can just type in the search YouTube thumbnail, and it'll come up with the size, which is 1280 by 720. Okay, a lot of people do them at 1920 by 1080. Any of that in that ratio works. Now, if you click on that, you will get, so thumbnail, blah, 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 you can, that's right. They're always changing stuff up on me. But you can look through like all the different templates and whatnot that you might want to do for your thumbnail. And there actually is a template that I use that I'm not seeing immediately in here. Where is it? For these videos in particular, for my Metals and Pieces channel videos, those I don't use a template. But their titles are typically a lot smaller, and these are a lot of how-to titles. So, wow, do they not have the template that I use anymore? That's so weird. I just want, oh, because I went in the wrong spot. Okay, create a design, there we go. YouTube, thumbnail, and that'll come in. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Okay. I still don't see the one that I usually use in here, but that's okay because I have since customized it to me. So I'm actually going to come over here. I'm going to come to mine. Ouch. Home. Home Jeeps. All my designs. Hey, you get to see all the stuff that I've been up to on here. See what I mean? Right there. Big expression. That's what you want on your YouTube videos. That's one for my other channel, which is Metals and Pieces. You're seeing all like the behind the scenes projects going on. Here we go. This one right here is the one that I use for you guys. So I'm simply going to go ahead. I'm going to hit my 3 dots since I've used this one before. I mean, you can pick any of the templates that you want in there. It's just fine. And I am going to make a copy. And back up to the top and open that one. Here we go. And I just do it this way because it has fonts, it has the colors in the background, all of that is done, so I don't have to worry about it. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete out what I had before and get rid of that stuff. Okie dokie. Next up I do, after I have like my template, my screen set, my first step is to get me in there. Because whatever backgrounds I put on, I need to know how they're going to work around me. So I'm going to come into uploads. Oh, haha, that's right. I'm recording a video for you guys. The video that we are making a thumbnail for is for Metals and Pieces. Okay, so let me get to my other folders here. Hang on. And actually, we're going to do it on the other screen, so I can just start with a blank screen for this one. All right, this is probably better for you guys anyway. Upload. So you can see here I have my original raw video, I have my edited video, and then I have a whole bunch of selfies here. Let's see them a little bigger here. Let's just scan through these and see which one has the best face is what I'm always going for. But I think I like this one, so let me grab that one here, which is that one. Open. I try when I'm doing these to see, like, I don't want stuff cut off frame because then that can look really weird. If I have, like, half my head is cut off from the top or the side, or I have hand gestures and fingers cut off, yeah, that looks weird. All right. So let's go here. We're going to click on this to bring the photo in. And now I am going to cut myself out. And I love Canva. They are the best for this. So I'm going to go into Effects, Background Remover. And Canva is pretty dang good at this usually. And especially with crazy hair. And we'll see what happens with all that gauze and tulle and stuff for my pirate hat. Aren't you curious what this video is about? So that is pretty dang good. It's got some extra stuff in here and the feather. I can see the chest behind me, but I'll deal with that. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is come into photos. And this is where things get a little potentially wonky. But what I am looking for in particular, and this is kind of a bad video example of this, is the image you choose for your background matters. All right, Google has gotten so good at reading images. So there's something called, is it Google Cloud? Google, like Cloud Eye Vision, something like that. I forget what exactly it's called. But you can even put your images through that and it will tell you what Google is reading it as. Remember when I said before this is important even for your website images? Yeah, because you want to make sure when you're selling products and whatnot that Google reads your product for what it is, and that if you put it on like a funky background, Google might read that background weird. And YouTube, since it's owned by Google, is going to do the same thing. So this video right here is all about clarity. The compass is important because this video was inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. You're going to have to watch that video if you want to know more about it. I will link that video in the description below. But let's see, am I like happy with any of these? Not really. So what's the next thing that happens in a Melissa Pickle thumbnail is that classic outline image, and Canva has made it really, really easy to do that. So I'm going to click on me, who has been cut out. I'm going to go back to Effects, and I'm going to go now to Shadows. Now, if Shadows is not showing up like this for you, you might just have to unlock it. It might be like one of these down here. And once you unlock one of those, then it continuously shows up in here. So I used to do this technique by going into duotone, making them both white, and then just blowing it up. But it wasn't, I noticed it wasn't even. It drove me crazy. So instead, we're going to go into Shadows, and I'm going to click on Glow. Now, if you just click it once, it applies the like bare setting of the effect, and you can see like there's this weird little edge around me. That's not what I want. I want the solid line. So I'm going to click on this again. You can see we got our hamburger settings things going there. And now I go 0 blur, 100% on transparency. I make my size usually 6. Because that gives a more defined outline, and then I'm going to set it as white. Ta-da! I'll put that at 8. I can do that too. Okay, and I'm going to click Apply. There is that one, and I just wait for it to save. Now, you might have to wait a second for this effect to take effect. Now, I wait until it says all, oh, see, saving paused. I'm waiting for this up here to say all changes saved. And it's probably taking a long time because I have about 18 tabs open on my browser. Just waiting for it to go through. Okay, all changes saved. Perfect. That's what we want. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm going to bump the color saturations because as a thumbnail, we want it to get attention, and color is a good way for that. So I'm going to go ahead with me. I'm going to come into now Adjust. And I typically do a 10 on brightness, a 10 or a 15 on contrast, and then like a 25 on saturation. I don't necessarily want myself to be orange, but I want enough pop of color. Contrast. And then like you can play around and see what you like. But that's typically what I do there. Boom. Okay. And now it's time for some text. Typically, I do put my text on this side, but since I'm pointing the other way, I'm going to do it the other way. Actually, yeah, so I'm going to go into headings. And the thing with YouTube thumbnails is your text has to be ginormous and minimalist. So, I mean, like little bits, not a lot of text. And this is going to be, what do I want to title this on here? This is Clarity in a Compass is the video. Clarity. Or I'll say, where does your compass point? Make that giganto. I'm going to come up here into the big arrow in the 3 lines. And I take my line spacing usually down to like 1. I'm going to change up my font to a branded one. I do not typically recommend using serif fonts. Do a sans serif, which just means clean edges, no frillies. Because again, as this shrinks down, you want it to be easily read. I'm going to go ahead, like Canva changed up their text tools, which is all weird. So now to get to the all caps, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to bring me down. Maybe I will tilt me so I can bring me down. Pop it in the corner. Ah, like that. Okay. Where does your compass point? I'm going to now duplicate this, I think. And I'll put an effect on that. Let's go for the hollow. And we'll change the color. Boom. How's that looking? Not bad. Well, maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll do blocks instead. So I'm going to come up over here into elements. I'm going to grab a square. And I just want it to be like that. We can duplicate over there and duplicate down here. All right. And for right now, I'm just going to make the color for that my branded blue. See how this looks. Boom. Boom. Backwards. 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 Okay. The thing I do hate though is I wish they had a layers tab so you could move things easily. That's better. Okay. And actually, since that covered up my compass, let's go back to like an old-timey map. That's not bad. I want to move this down a bit, so I'm just going to click. You can click and drag to highlight all of that, and it'll like half group it for you. Boom. And I'll position me in front. There we go. Ta-da! We have a thumbnail. We are all set on this one. I'm going to go ahead and click download. I see no reason to save these as PNGs. JPEGs take up a lot less space. And for this, for YouTube, it doesn't need to be that complicated. So I'll go ahead in here. Let me put this in my folder. And it's just going to be, I tend to label them for exactly what it is. Video. And I just label cover. Okay. Done. Downloading. Exit that. Come on, exit. Again, it's the fact that my computer is running like 18 tabs at the same time. And then afterwards, I'll go ahead and I'll do a copy and resize to an Instagram post or a story or whatever else I might want to put this information. So I can grab this. I can make it bigger. Maybe I'll take me and make me straight again and off the bottom. Boop. And forward one more. And maybe not that big. Let's see. Center. Come on, where's the center? Good enough. And I can make me bigger again now. And ta-da, we have it now to go on Instagram. So there you go. That is how you create thumbnails for YouTube videos. And remember that this technique is really good. Keep in mind always, what are the accessory images going on in your image? What's the background? What's the setting? What's any of that? Because Google reads it all, and that will help inform whether your images come up in search or not. All right, Pickle Peeps, if you loved that, definitely give me a comment below. Let me know what other videos you want to see next. There is a very big announcement coming quite soon. I just have to, record that video, and we'll be getting that out to you. There are very exciting things in the works. Meanwhile, make sure to give this video a like, hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you, Pickle Peep, in the next one. Till then.